Hey guys, before we get into this video, I just want to let you know that this original copy of this video got taken down by YouTube last night. I had a clip in there where the Attorney General was talking about why he's going after the Pfizer vaccine. And I just want to let you know, if you want to watch the whole uncut version of this podcast, this show, you could do so on Rumble. For this version of this episode, I'm going to have to cut that whole segment out. But if you want to watch the full version of it, you can watch it on Rumble. I'd recommend you do, because there's a lot of stuff that you're going to miss out on with that. All right, back to the video, guys. On today's episode of RepubliKen Talks, we're going to be talking about Louisiana's 10 Commandments being brought into schools next year. We're also going to be talking about Disney's racist stipulation on hiring people and more on this episode of RepubliKen Talks. Welcome to my talk show, everybody. I am your host, Kenneth Glenn, and today we're going to be going through some things today, some news that broke out. Sorry for not posting yesterday. I've just been sick all week, and I just haven't been feeling well. Still not really feeling well, but it's all right. We'll get through it. So, first thing I want to talk about, Jack Carr just released his new book. It's called Red Sky Morning. It is another awesome book from his Terminal List series. If you haven't read this series, you need to. It's amazing. If you like awesome action stories, they're awesome. And it's just super sick. I have not gotten my copy yet. I plan to review the book, and maybe I'll even rank the entire series on the show. If you want me to do that, let me know. So, yeah, if you're into awesome, action-packed stories, you need to get the new book, Red Sky Morning. You will not regret it. It's not even that long of a read. It's only like a 500-page book, so it really won't even take that much time out of your day, really. On other news, Devin Haney is now undefeated. So Devin fought Ryan Garcia a couple months back, and Ryan Garcia smoked him. But it was later found out that Ryan Garcia cheated. He was on PEDs during the fight. So the win on Ryan Garcia and the loss on Devin Haney's record has now been scratched. So he's now undefeated once again. He is 31-0 now. So that is exciting. Moving on. So a non-binary teacher crawls under a stall and watches a student in the bathroom. It's super weird, super cringe. And one thing I want to mention is that none of the news organizations picked this up. Nobody picked this up. No news organization picked this story up. So I'm going to talk about it today on the show. I'm surprised none of the news organizations picked this up. So, a Twitter account by the name of Oil London posted about it. He writes, a non-binary teacher wearing a they-them mask caught climbing under a toilet cubicle to watch a young child at the Kent Lake High School in Washington State. So this person, it's a female teacher, so crawls under the toilet cubicle. So you can imagine. I'll show the image at some point. But it's super weird. This is super odd. So there's a lot of problem with this. An adult is climbing under the stall on the bathroom floor like she's some kindergartner. That's the first problem with this whole thing. She's acting like a kindergartner here, crawling under. That's just super weird. You're not supposed to do that. That's my first problem with this. There's no normal adult who would ever crawl on the bathroom floor. It just doesn't exist. The second problem is that if if she were to do this to another coworker, let's just say she crawled under the stall when a coworker was using the bathroom, it would have instantly been a sexual harassment case. But since she did it to a child, nothing to our knowledge has been done. And how we know nothing's been done is because nothing's been reported of being done. So either nothing's been done, or the media doesn't want to report this being done, anything being done. Because you don't want to ever make the trans people look bad. If it's a straight white male, if it's a conservative male, if it's anybody that they can make a agenda about, that's part of the agenda, they will make a video about it. They will report about it. If it's anything that's against the agenda, no. They don't report black crime. They don't report transgender people doing crimes. Nothing of the sort. Actually, it's very similar to another case that happened in February. There's a transgender person who killed somebody, and that never got reported on either. Just never got reported. This person killed somebody because they were angry about not getting the help they wanted, and nobody cared. So, that is the second problem with this whole situation, is that if it was done to a fellow coworker, it would have actually been reported. The last problem with this is that she's still wearing a mask. It's 2024, and she's still wearing a mask. It's 2024. Okay. If you're still wearing a mask in 2024, you need to stop. Okay. I thought it was finally universally agreed upon that masks didn't help. Like, it's 2024. We already know. We all know it's all garbage. It's all garbage. Like, I knew it was garbage, and I thought it was dumb since the pandemic. I thought that was dumb. Now, obviously, I had to wear a mask because if I didn't, I would get grounded at home. But it is still stupid. And she's not wearing a mask. She's not just wearing a mask. She's wearing two masks. She's wearing a double mask. Because as we all know, two masks is better than one. I wonder if they think the same about condoms. If you wear two condoms, is that also better than one? Nope. But according to these guys, it is. Okay, double masks is better. Double condoms is better. It's just super great. You gotta wear two of everything. That is how you do it. That's how you get it done. So this is a community of Maple Valley, Washington. This is a Facebook post. And it says, small request, the below French teacher at the Kent Lake High School was photographed crawling under a stall, or the stall in the restroom. I'll be calling the school and seeking an explanation. There's no reasonable reason for this. I'd like to know. And then, if it's something inappropriate, I'd like to know as well. The request is to take a minute and call as well. Reasonable or inappropriate, we are owed an explanation. I will follow up later today. So I don't know if there's ever been an update to this, because there literally has been nothing on this case. But super weird, super deeply disturbing that a teacher is doing that. Crawling on the floor, like the look in her eye is just deeply disturbing. Also the haircut, deeply disturbing. Okay. Moving on. Anyway, moving on to the next thing. So, Rose Montoya. You probably never heard of her, but you know her. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. So I had to get that out of the way. I had to do it. Anyway, who is Rose Montoya? So Rose Montoya is the trans activist who went topless at the White House. She was like holding her chest and like shaking her breast. I'm not going to show it on the show, but it's that video. You've probably seen it. So the trans activist who has received criticism for his augmented breast, for exposing his augmented breast at the White House during a Pride event last June, has now been accused of sexual assault. Alleged victim is a biological female who identifies as a man. So we have a trans on trans assault here. We have trans on trans crime. So Rose Montoya, who is 26 years old, was subsequently banned from attending any future events at the White House after the video went viral showing him groping his fake breast while topless on the South Lawn. Montoya shared the video on his own TikTok account, which quickly gathered attention. After the groundswell of outrage, Montoya was commended by the White House press secretary. The behavior was simply unacceptable, Jean Perry said at the press conference briefing. It was unfair to hundreds of attendees who were there to celebrate their families. Did she go to jail, though? Nope. Because they can't go that far with it. It's inappropriate. You shouldn't have done it, but we can't go as far as charging you with a crime, even though it is a crime to be nude in public, especially on a federal building grounds. But who cares? You're gay. It's fine. Montoya later updated the video on TikTok defending his actions. In the video caption, "Free the nipple," he said, "It was simply living my joy and my truth as an existing in my body." Okay. So just because it makes you feel good does not give you the right to do it. If I said that same statement after stabbing a puppy, that me saying that makes me happy does not make it right thing to do. Okay, you can't just kill a puppy and go, well, it makes me happy, I should be allowed to do it. No, you shouldn't. If what makes you happy is hurting people or doing disgusting things, then I guess you shouldn't be happy. I know it's gonna shock a bunch of people when I say that, but it's the truth. If your happiness hurts people, then you shouldn't be happy. However, ended up backtracking and released an apology video after another trans activist began criticizing his actions, accusing him of embracing the trans community, embarrassing the trans community, and setting the community back during an important event. I'm going to skip all this stuff because we already know all this garbage. We're going to skip to the part where she is accused of sexual assault. Just 1 year after the backlash, Montoya has been accused of sexual assault by his ex-girlfriend, Jessie Diamond, a female who identifies as a transgender man, and uses the name Transmuscular Bear or Transmuscle Bear on social media. On June 13th, Diamond posted a thread on X accusing Montoya of sexually assaulting her while she was recovering from phalleo injuries, the surgery that attempts to make female genitalia resemble male genitalia, which is a super dangerous surgery that should be completely illegal. I attempted to end my life on more than one occasion due to how depressed I was from the trauma, Diamond explained on the thread. Diamond goes on to directly name Montoya as the abuser in question. So here's my opinion, a hot take. I don't care if it makes you happy or whatever. Okay? If something is dangerous and bad for your health, the doctors should not be allowed to do it. Okay? There's no doctor out here where I'm like, yeah, I want a ginormous scar on my face. Can you just get the chainsaw out and just rip it? Like, just cut my face open for me, please, and stitch it up? No reasonable doctor is going to do that. I can't walk into a doctor's office and be like, you know, it'd be really sick if I had a ginormous scar on my face. Can you do that for me? No doctor is going to do that for you. However, if a trans person wants to reverse their gender, it's like, no questions asked, come on in. This could be very dangerous and ruin your life, but yeah, come on in. We'll do it for you. We'll do it for free and make the taxpayers pay for it too. And a video posted on TikTok, Diamond provides a screenshot purported to be from Montoya admitting to the sexual assault. The email, which was sent from Rosa Montoya's gmail.com, reads, I'm really sorry I broke your trust and violated you. The email author goes on to describe how being sexually rejected made them feel dysphoric. So, whatever. You know what I really hate? Anytime somebody is accused of pedophilia or sexual assault or whatever, they always go, yeah, but I had a bad past. Like, we don't care, dude. We don't care. Okay, quite frankly, we don't care. You shouldn't do that to people. You shouldn't assault people. You shouldn't sexually assault people. I don't care about your past. I don't care how you feel. As soon as you justify an action by saying, I felt this or I had a bad past, you're automatically in the wrong. I generally thought for a while that you were triggered by me simply having a phallus. What is that? Phallus? I thought maybe you'd like me more or want to be intimate with me if I had a vagina. This caused me so much pain and dysphoria. The email continues, I'm sorry I forced myself on you. While Redux was unable to confirm the authenticity of the email address listed in the screenshot made public by Diamond matches the email on Montoya's personal website. So, here we have a trans activist being accused of sexual assault. Diamond also revealed that Montoya accused her of domestic violence in response of those accusations. She also claimed that she was not the only female who identifies as a man, that Montoya has abused or assaulted. So, not sure where this is going to go. I'm not sure. I don't really have a bunch of information about this. I just wanted to give the news out for this. So, moving on. Shoot, where's my mouse at? There it is. So Louisiana is bringing the Ten Commandments back into the classroom. So, for the longest time, schools were not allowed to have, like, Christian stuff in there. You weren't allowed to teach Christianity. You weren't allowed to pray in schools. But not only is prayer coming back to schools in some states, I forgot which state did it, but one state brought prayer back into school. But now we got Louisiana requiring the Ten Commandments to be in school. This is awesome. This is a good thing. So classrooms across Louisiana next year will be required to display a poster framed document listing the Bible's Ten Commandments under a controversial new law that is one of number recently passed and proposed pieces of legislation in several states allowing religious practices or text to be part of public school system. So, here's the thing, okay? The Ten Commandments should be in schools. Want to know why? Because it's a historical document. And if you want children to be educated and you want them to know things, you want them to learn things, you should post the Ten Commandments in the schools. Because the Ten Commandments is one of the oldest documents, one of the oldest laws in history. It's not the oldest law, but it's one of them. It's a historical document. It's a piece of media. It's a law. It's a piece of history. To not have the Ten Commandments in school is just ridiculous. Especially when you can post other things, other laws. You can learn about every religion except for Christianity. In school, you literally do a deep dive on all the religions except for Christianity. It's ridiculous. I think that's how it was when I was in school. Maybe it's changed since then. But when I was in school, you learned about Buddhism, you learned about Hinduism, you learned about Islam, you learned about every religion. You learned about the Aztec religions. You know what you didn't learn about, though? You didn't learn about Christianity. Or, if you did learn about Christianity, it wasn't as deep as the other religions you want to go into. Which is ridiculous. Every classroom in the state will be required to display the Ten Commandments, which includes tenets like, "Thou shalt not have any gods before me," and "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy," alongside 4-paragraph statement calling the list of rules the prominent part of the American public education system, which it is. Our founding fathers was founded, or our country is founded on Christian beliefs. A year before the passing of the Ten Commandments law, Louisiana passed another that requires the phrase "In God We Trust" to be displayed on signage in every public school classroom, and told instructors to teach the students about the phrase as a patriotic custom. Because it is. This is America, dude. This is America. On every dollar bill that we have, so if we have, that is an American term. In God We Trust. The founding fathers put that on there because this is what our country is founded on. Now, since the Federalist Party and many other parties agreed that we should have religious freedom, they're not forcing it on people, and the law here is not saying that every kid must follow the Ten Commandments, but let's be real, they should follow the Ten Commandments because, I don't know, not murdering people, not stealing people, or not stealing things from people, not cheating on yourself. Those are good laws. Those are good things to do. And no intelligent human being should disagree with that law. The law here is not enforcing the Ten Commandments. It's not saying that you have to partake in the Sabbath day or you're going to get an F. It's just posting the thing in there as a historical document. A move that has been criticized by some as a form of religious coercion. The governor of Oklahoma this June signed a bill that forces public schools districts to allow students to be released from school for up to 3 class periods a week to attend off-campus religious classes. That's another good thing. The options should be there if they're open. No one should be against that either. I don't support Islam, but if schools were allowing, if there's a law passed that allows Islamic people or Muslim people to take time out of school to go to Muslim classes so they can learn about their religion more or whatever, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Now, I oppose Islam. I think it's not a good thing. I still think it's satanic worship. But I'm not going to be against that. If that's what they want to do, they can do that. Which do not need to be taught by certified educators. Oh no, not the certified educators. Oh no. See, now you changed my mind. Since the certified educators are not the ones teaching it, I am now against it all. You have now changed my mind. No one's a certified if it's not a certified. You know what I find funny? Is that everybody graduates from school, right? Like, everyone takes classes, everyone graduates from the same school, right? But you're not smart enough to teach the stuff that you went to school for. I went to school, but I'm not smart enough to teach stuff. But I went to school. What's the point of me going to school in the first place? Are you saying that the education that I received isn't good enough? Because if it is, maybe we shouldn't be partaking in that education to begin with. If you're going to tell me that I'm not smart enough to teach stuff, even though I went to the same schooling as every other person, maybe that has more to say on the school system itself than it does on me. Oh no, not the certified educators, dude. Because, you need to be certified to teach things. You need to be certified. If you're not certified, you're a moron. You can't teach anything unless you're certified. I hate that. I hate that. What's that called? Authority. Argument from authority. I hate that garbage. And it requires that they be given credits for those classes similar laws exist in Ohio, South Carolina, Tennessee, and other states. Earlier this year, Texas Education Commissioner Mike Morath introduced an elementary curriculum that includes numbers of stories from the Bible. He says the lesson used Christian texts to promote culturally and literary understandings. But critics say it is an unnecessary infusion of religion to public school. Super bad. Yeah, you can't have any religion. No, it's not any religion. It's Christianity. It's fine to have every other religion in school. You can teach every other religion in school, just not Christianity. Because Christianity, we don't want it. Because we don't want the real religion. We just want the satanic ones. We just want the religions that celebrate Satan. We don't want Christianity. We don't want the good religion that teaches good values. We want Islam. We want Buddhism. We want Hinduism. We want all the garbage satanic worship. We don't want Christianity in schools. Okay, that's deeply bad. That's Christian nationalism, darn it. How dare you? Christian nationalism's bad. Texas and Florida last year both passed laws that allow unlicensed religious champlains. Why do they use so many weird words? To serve in public schools, counselors. So, I'm not sure what's the problem with that. Oh, I'm sorry. They're unlicensed. Oh, that's right. They're unlicensed. Because in order to be good at anything, you need a license to do it. You need a license to know anything. You don't know any information unless you're licensed. You can't be a pastor unless you go to college to be a pastor. You can't be a first grade. You can't be a kindergarten math teacher unless you go to college to learn how to teach kindergarten math. Freaking garbage authority. So stupid. See, once you're licensed, you're good to go. See, once you're licensed, you have all authority. Okay? But just learning and doing research on your own and reading books on stuff like this, not good enough. Okay, you need the piece of paper. Okay, because college gives you the knowledge that is just nowhere else. You cannot find that information anywhere else except for college. You got to go to college first, and then you have all the information. You have all the information once you go to college. Because college is... I hate that mentality, dude. Everybody has that mentality, though. People argue you wouldn't want a brain surgeon that didn't go to college doing your brain surgery, would you? Here's the funny thing about that: the people who teach brain surgery classes in college aren't brain surgeons. Dingbat. Yeah, that isn't that interesting. The business degree professors that teach your business classes, they don't own businesses, you dingbat. College is a scam. College is trash. College is a scam. You should not go to college unless you're going to partake in like 1% of the jobs, like being a lawyer or being a doctor. In Texas, the legislator called the law a response to the 2020 mass shootings at an elementary school in Uvalde, and said that the Champlains, I'm just going to call them Champlains, I don't know, counseling the school would have prevented the shootings in Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis said that the Champlains could benefit troubled students who need some soulcraft. I don't see there being a problem with this. I don't see, like, at least let them try this out. I don't know, I think this is a great win for Louisiana and many other states in this country. Huge win. Let's do it. I'm down for this. Moving on to the last thing of the day. This is a super interesting thing that I saw. So, Disney is racist. We've known that for a very long time. It just took them a very long time to realize, or it just took them a long time to admit that they are racist. So, there is a new chart out. It's called the Disney General Entertainment Content Inclusion Standards. So, in order to participate in a movie of Disney, you must fit in the box. If you're not in the box, if you can't fit in the box, if you're not part of the box, you are not allowed to be in the movie. So, we have, what do we got here? 4 standards? Yeah, we have 4 standards. We have standard A, B, C, and D. And in standard A, on-screen representation, at least 3 of the following 5 areas need to be met to fulfill standard A. These need to be met. If they're not met, you have failed and you can't do it. So, A1, characters 50% or more of the regular and recurring written characters come from an unrepresented group. So you know that law in most states where like 10% of your workplace must be a certain demographic? Or you need like, you have to have like 20% of women, 20% of your workplace has to be women. Instead of just having good workers, you have to have like a certain demographic. This is the same thing, basically. Actors, 2. So actors, 50. So this is the characters. If you want to write a story now, you can't just write a story in like Poland. You can't write, like if you want to make a movie about Anne Frank, you can't do that because there's not enough diversity. There's not enough diversity. Or if you want to make the story, you gotta make up diversity. You gotta make it up. Super stupid. Actors, so for the actors, 50% or more of the reoccurring actors must come from a unrepresented group. First of all, super weird. Why is it unrepresented? You know another way to say unrepresented group? Not white. Because that's what they're talking about. Sorry, not white male. Not white male. This is the opposite of Jim Crow. This is Jim Crow, but instead of for black people, it's for white people. This is Dred Scott and Ferguson for white people, basically. Except for we're not even equal anymore. We're just not even included. Secondary characters, meaningful inclusions of unrepresented groups as a secondary or more minor on-screen individuals must include background actors. I'm confused with that one. Oh, wait. Unrepresented groups as a secondary or more. So, not really sure why has to be a thing. Series premise, meaningful integrations of the represented groups in overall themes and narratives. So you need meaningful integrations of unrepresented groups in all themes and narratives. Okay? They need to be meaningful. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but it needs to happen, darn it. What does that mean? I don't know, but you need to freaking make it happen. You understand me? If you don't make it happen, you're fired. Episodic storytelling, ongoing meaningful integrations of underrepresented groups in episodic themes and narratives. Like I said, what does that mean? I don't know, but if you don't do it, you're fired. Standard B, creative leadership. At least 3 of the 6 following areas need to be met to fulfill Standard B. So by the way, there are about, let's see, we got 6 standards here, 5 standards there, and 6 other standards. So we have here 22 standards. And out of the 22 standards, 6, 5, we need 11. So half of the standards here, out of all of them, need to be met. And majority of these standards destroy creative, what is it called? They just destroy creativity altogether. Because this limits your creative freedom. That's the word I was looking for. 50% or more of producers above writing staff, and 50% or more of co-producer and below on the writing staff come from underrepresented groups. Not sure why that's a thing. Once again, you need the writers to now be African. Why though? Why does it have to be that way? Why does it have to be 50%? Why can't they just say, hire the best people for the job? Spoiler alert, this is why Disney sucks. And now we realize why. Because everyone working there is a diversity hire. Or at least 50% of the people there are diversity hires. That's why Disney sucks now. We've now cracked the code why Disney sucks. Diversity, that's why. 50% or more of the episodic directors from an underrepresented group. So the directors need to be from underrepresented groups. So does that also include white guys? No, actually, no. Here's my argument. This includes white people too. Because white people in modern cinema are underrepresented. You can't prove me wrong. I mean, they're not. They're underrepresented, for sure. But, like, name 10 movies that have white male leads from this year. I don't know. I can't name John Wick. Nope, that was last year. I can't even name. I can't. I'm trying to think. Like The Beekeeper, that's 1. Let me think. Fall Guy, that's 2. And that's all of them, I think. I think I just named all of them. I don't think there's another movie that has. I also don't really watch a lot of movies, to be fair, but yeah, there's not a lot of movies that have white male leads anymore. Casting directors from underrepresented groups or has not previously worked on a DGE show in this role. So now you need a casting director from an underrepresented group. You don't even get a choice here. Your casting director better be black or you're fired. If you cannot find a good black casting director, you're fired. Because it has to be black. They have to be black. This is literally South Park's a pretty bad show, but it's funny. And there's a South Park episode called the Panderverse, or Into the Panderverse. And basically it's making fun of Kathleen Kennedy, which is basically the person who ruined Star Wars single-handedly. And the entire episode's literally her just like, you better make it black and make it gay. Like, basically making fun of Kathleen Kennedy for making everybody either black or gay. So I'm just going to speed run through the rest of these. There's a ton of them. Meaningful representation of unrepresented groups in a senior creative leadership. Like I said, you're literally no longer have creative freedom here. Promotion of a membership of an underrepresented group into a role that constitutes career progression for at least one member of the writing staff. So what if you can't do that? Like, what if that's just not possible? The movie doesn't get made, sucker. You gotta deal with it. And then we got the below the line one. So we got 50% or more of the line producer or production department heads. So the composer, costume designer, editor, 50% of them have to come from unrepresented groups or underrepresented groups. I could go on all day about this. There's another one, the industrial access career development. So the paid employment opportunities such as the apprenticeship, the internship, expert advertise to facilitate union eligibility for members of unrepresented groups. So it's literally, Disney is just like, I better not see too many white people. There's too many of them white guys around, and I don't care for the white folks. It's just racism. This is literally just racism. That's all it is. Instead of just saying, I want the best guy for the job, it's just DEI woke garbage, and that's why they're going bankrupt. This is why Disney sucks now. Name the last time Disney made a good movie. I can't. I don't watch Disney movies. But I can't genuinely figure out the last time they made a good movie. I can't. I guess Indiana Jones, that movie was fine. I guess. But besides Indiana Jones, like I can't, like the new Indiana Jones movie, that was fine. But besides that, I can't remember. They don't make good TV shows. They don't make good movies. Like, everything sucks with Disney. Anyway, that's going to be the end of my show. I hope you liked it. If you like this show, you can tune into shows like this every day. Well, most days, unless I'm sick. I make shows like this, or try to make shows like this every single day. So if you like it, subscribe. I make stuff like this. And I make these big episodes into shorter episodes. If you don't want to watch the full show, you'll be given the episodes later on in the week. So anyways, I will see you guys later. Actually, I'll see you guys on Monday. Peace.